while you're waiting for Jeran. Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. Smoke one spliff while you're waiting for Jeran. Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. Smoke one spliff while you're waiting for Jeran. Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. Jeran, we waiting for Jeran. Jeran, we waiting for Jeran.
Wait, no more. I'm here. It is time for a rocket launch, but I don't think I'm going to be able to see it. So I'm going to head over there. I do see that they have their feed up. Let's see if they're talking. Nope, they went away for a little bit. They were talking a second ago.
Time 19 minus 22 minutes, 38 seconds and counting. As mentioned at the top of the broadcast, SpaceX is currently underway with fueling its Falcon 9 rocket. So let's go ahead and step through the countdown timeline, let you know the...
Okay, so just so you know, that's going to be playing. I did have somebody who was going to join me for this on Thursday and then on Friday, but then she couldn't do it on Saturday. So I have nobody to help me, so I'm going to head off. I've got everything packed and ready to go, so be quick. You probably will not see me until I get there. So this camera here in the lower right will probably go off. Let me check something real quick, make sure my audio is working. Yes, good. So the camera on the left, lower right, will probably lose a feed in a second, and you'll not see me there. And then it will turn back on shortly before the launch. You will hear their audio. So let me think. I'm going to have to tell my wife to come in here. Yeah, my wife will come in and turn off their audio at 3. So in 20 minutes. So then my audio will pick up from there, and we should be good. My audio is going to be on mute. Yes. And if yes, that should work. Okay. See you guys shortly. You can enjoy the countdown until then. Have fun. And don't get your hopes up. You shouldn't even really watch. I would go watch on these channels here because they obviously are closer. I'm 175 miles away, and we've got rain all day, and the sky is just gray. I mean, it gets some clearing a little bit here and there, so I don't want to not go, and then there be a clearing, and I could have caught it. So I'd rather just go and show nothing, and just if I get there and it's just cloudy, that's what happens. So we'll see. See you guys shortly. Until then, we'll let you listen to this. Oh, if they're even talking.
Moving right along, T-minus 7 minutes is when the engine shutdown gets underway. That's when SpaceX flows a small amount of liquid oxygen through the plumbing and turbo pumps, hoping to protect the engines from the risk of thermal shock and damage during the startup sequence. About 6 minutes before liftoff, the first stage kerosene tank is full. And at T-minus 4.5 minutes, they'll begin pressurizing for the strong back retract sequence. You start to see the result of that when the clamp arms just beneath the payload fairings open up, and then the transporter erector, or the strong back, reclines about 13 degrees away from the Falcon 9 rocket near Vandenberg, stays in that position until liftoff. At that point, it'll pull back in a much more rapid fashion to clear the way for the vertical climb of the Falcon 9. 3 minutes before launch, the first stage LOX tank is full. Same is true on the second stage, about a minute after that, at which point the Falcon 9 is fully loaded with 1 million pounds of propellant. In the final 60 seconds, as we hear the call that the Falcon 9 is in startup, control of the countdown is handed over from the ground sequencer to the Falcon 9's onboard flight computers, and the propellant tanks are brought up to flight pressure. SpaceX launch director will give their go for launch at T-minus 45 seconds. The engine ignition command is issued at
That was me. I just paused it because I went outside to get ready to go in the truck, and I got to show you this guy. It's not even worth going. So I'm not going to waste my time and then waste your guys' time. We'll just call it. But I'll go show you what this guy looks like so you see why I'm discouraged from actually doing this. Let me mute this mic and pick up the other one. I'll show you. Okay, so this is the sky. I don't know if you can see, it's just gray. everywhere you look. So there's no way you're going to see it. That's completely just gray. If it looks like regular sky, it's not. It's gray as could be. I don't think it's worth it. So in every direction, that's all we see. So there's some clearing up there, but not anywhere. The sky is just completely overcast. So anyway, I probably am not going to go over there. That was the plan. Everything's packed, but I just don't see a reason. So I'm going to shut down the show, and you guys could just enjoy watching the launch, and we'll see it one day. Just not today. All right, I'm back here. So, yeah, there's just no use in it. I can already tell. It's just grays could be. There's no way you'd be able to see something launch 20 miles away, let alone 175. But I do think Rhino's over in Monterey. Be interesting to see if he sees anything. I'm guessing the coast would be a little better, but maybe not. Let me bring up the chat, see what everybody's doing. But there's just no use. It's not going to happen today. Of course, the one day that, every other day was clear. All 3 days. That it was supposed to launch, but it did not. Excuse me. Anybody in here? Let's see. Hello, everybody. Same here, overcast. Where are you at, Danny? You're north of me? Are you Modesto area, or? It's completely gray outside. SpaceX isn't live now. I'm watching. This is on the channel Space Flight Now. Oh, I turned off play. My bad. Let me get back live. I meant to turn the volume down, not that. There we go. And I can shut down. This is gone now. We'll just put something else up there. And now this is, okay, that one. This one starts in 5 minutes over here. But I'll just check overcast AF here. Yeah. It's kind of disappointing. Scheduled February 27th. Thank you, JD. 7:10. Yeah, it'll be better at night, too. I mean, it's going to be easier to see. Do I have time for tacos? It's supposed to launch in, what does it say? 3:02, so we're looking 46, 15, 14, 16, 16 minutes. But it's just, there's no use. I mean, I was going to have to have my wife come in here and man this one and put on that stream. And I kind of mentioned to her, and she was like, oh, I think I could do it. But I don't want to leave that to her if there's no use. You can't even see anywhere. So I was hoping we'd have good, clear weather, but I could tell yesterday it was going to come and rain today. Monterey sky is the same with sprinkles. So it's just gray as could be. Yeah, you're not going to see it. So they are doing it. Yeah, because, and in fact, I just saw, can I rewind this? Actually, I'll show you. A little earlier, they were looking at the clouds, and I was like, wow, that looks like what we see. Where was it? Right when I went live, which was, yeah, right there. So this is the cloud cover. Hello? There we go. So this is the cloud, but you can see that I'm up in this, right? So I'm up here. You've got rhinos over here at the coast in Monterey. I'm up here. Danny's up here a little further, but we are just completely covered. But you'll notice that where they're launching from is here, I believe, and there's no clouds for them. So I don't think it'll stop them from launching, but it definitely stops all of us from seeing it. If that makes any sense. Thank you for appreciating me. I appreciate that. That the atmosphere doesn't rush off into the void and stuff affected by gravity, even in a vacuum. Yeah, I've got my questions about the vacuum anyway. Isn't it weird that the saying is nature? Wait, why is my logo playing behind this video? What was that about? Where's that on here? What? My logo is the logo splash screen, but I don't see that on here. Hold on, I see my logo playing behind that screen. I don't have any idea why that would be. That is what feed? That is my browser solo, right? Oh, wait, no. Video capture device under browser solo. No, where that? What? Media source is off. Left browser is on. Did I get rid of it? Huh. YouTube's. Oh, there it is. YouTube has the Jeranism filler video behind it. Yeah. Be gone. Alright, fix it. Okay, now we should be better. Is that good? Should be better. Yes. Okay, good. That's gone now. We'll go live. So anyway, that clouds does describe. You know what's weird is that I never even dreamed of it, to be honest. Google Earth doesn't show current clouds, do they? When I was in my garage, I pulled up Google Earth a little while ago. I'll show you in a second. And I looked at California. I was like, wait, why is that the clouds I just saw? I don't think it does that, but I'll show you right now what I'm talking about. I think we might see the same thing that we just saw on that screen, which I never even considered that Google Earth was live clouds. But watch here with California. Watch what it shows here in a second. Let me go this one you can see. Oh, so now they don't show any clouds. In my garage version, let me see if I turn it on over here. Weather. So I never knew weather. Let's go. Clouds. I just thought, is this real clouds? I turned it on, but it's not taking place. Hello? Clouds. Well, now I don't see any clouds. Let me edit view. It's really strange. I have clouds turned on, but it's just not actually turning them on for some reason. Huh. The version of Google Earth in my garage was showing clouds, but I did see that I didn't have this checked over here where it says clouds, but now clouds. Weather, off, on. Nothing changes here. Like if you turn off places, then they go away. Turn it on, they come back. Turn off borders, they go away, come back. Announcements, but for some reason clouds is not turning off. Or even turning on. There's no clouds on here. Oh, now there is. Now they are. Okay. So I cannot believe it. It means that the cloud on Google Earth is real time. I never knew that. Because this is what we just saw. That it's clouded here, but it's not clouded where they're taking off. You got here in the Monterey Bay, clouds here. And then where I'm at over here is completely cloud cover. That's crazy. Never knew that. Never knew that. It isn't live though. They are animated from the last day. I don't know. This looks like it's live. Well, let's go look at supposedly Himawari. Even if it's not a real camera, it is representative of the live weather because they take that data. Let's see if Himawari shows us. Let me go check Himawari. I have to bring up a different one. Are we still can launch? Yeah. New window. Himawari 8. Let me see what it shows over here. Remember, they put up 1,000 balloons twice a day from 1,000 locations, and that's where we get our Doppler radar from, where we get most of the weather related. Yeah, I mean, it looks like this is Himawari. Let's see, we can move them both over here. Oops. You can't see both those, huh? Go back over here. You can kind of see. Move this up a little bit. So this little pattern over here looks similar. Zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. That looks like it. Go back to both of them. Come on. This one. It's similar. I don't know if it's from the day before or what, though. Wow, apparently updated every hour. I never knew that either. Good to know. Did not know. So every hour makes sense. Yeah, they do the balloons twice a day, and that's where you get, like, that's how they figure out the jet streams, right? So they know what the jet streams are because of the Himawari. Oh, what did I do? Shoot, I just effed something up. 1 second. Let's get rid of this. Bring this back up. Is that on? And live. Okay, we're live there. But I lost my other feed. I just want to bring it back up. Let's go here. And we got to bring up that feed over here. Which I lost it. Live stream this one. Shoot. And I do remember. Let's put this over here. And let's do with the where was that? It was in my here. Go here.
Time now T-minus 7 minutes, 55 seconds and counting. Want to thank Red Sky for a $2 super chat. Being a part of this team,
Nice
and
music.
thanks to the now 6,700 plus of you who are watching with us live. If you haven't already, be sure to click that like button for us. You can do us a big favor.
You hear him? He said hit the like
Lots more
button for
folks
us. There's
find
so
their
many of
way
us
to
watching.
This live stream. With now just 7.5 minutes before the planned liftoff of this Falcon 9 rocket from Vandenberg Space Force Base. As we're cruising toward the 7-minute mark, we're coming up on the point in which SpaceX will start to chill the 9 Merlin engines at the base of the Falcon 9 first stage booster. Also want to thank moderator Clistia Lee for gifting 5 Spaceflight Now memberships. Appreciate that generosity, Clistia. And to our 5 newest channel members, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you all with us. Be sure to thank Clistia in the live chat if you haven't already.
Okay, I've heard enough of that first. So yeah, unfortunately, if you're just joining, it was going to be us filming it, but we've got cloudy, rainy skies, and so it's really bad. You can't just gray all around us. There's no way you could see 20 miles away, let alone as far as we're trying to see. There are some people out in the fields that are trying, but they also are reporting bad weather. It gets better about 2 hours or so, 3 hours south of us. Then it looks like the clouds clear up, but we're not going to be able to see it. So luckily, somebody said there's one in February 27th in the evening, which obviously being at night will make it even easier to see without the brightness and cloud reflections. So I figure we'll just stay on. I'll answer questions in the chat, and then we can watch the launch and then skedaddle and enjoy our sábado. Y domingo también mañana. All right, so we're done with this. We don't need this open, do we? No. We do not. Let me see what we got here. Mate bump, ISO brightness in your cam. Mate bump? ISO brightness. Not sure. JD63 says the weather overlay on Google Earth is live, provided by IBM Weather Company. That's pretty crazy. I never knew that. Never did I know it. Oh, I can turn this on here. Nice one, Taz. Thank you. Yeah, you guys are funny. When the more you call me a shill, it's just hilarious, and it cements my position as being the smartest. So I don't even know what that would look like. Can you imagine like somebody coming to me and offering me money? Like, Sharon, we know that you think the Earth's flat, so what we're going to do is we're going to tell you that you're right, number one, and number two, we're going to tell you that you're going to have to come on our team, or else we're going to kill your family. Here's a bucket full of money, and we'll keep you. I mean, it's just so there'd be no way that would be even ever happen, because you would have all these liabilities out in the world that any one of them could just spill the beans at any time. They would never do it that way. They just wouldn't do it that way. Not the way it works. They let you get famous. They let you get popular, right? So that you're on whatever it is. You're making music, or you're on in a sports team or something. And then it kind of is implied that those who go with the flow, go with the program, continue in their positions and make lots of money, and those who go against it do not. And so it's kind of just implied. This way you can't go, and you don't have any secrets. They didn't tell you the truth. They just tell you, go with the flow. So I've not been approached or talked to anybody like that. I don't even know what they would say. let's see here. It looks like they are getting close. Same feed on both those. There were 3:45 less to go. No, I admit I was one of those. There's a mental block, and I don't know how to. I mean, somebody telling me that wouldn't have been. What are you talking about? I don't have one of those. So it's unfortunate because they have to kind of get through it on their own. It took me having to go somewhere and to really understand the sun. I was just explaining it to the VIP group a couple minutes ago that there is some ways to look at it that makes more sense, but I get it. And there is reasons to doubt what we've been told, obviously. So I empathize with flat earthers. But I also think that if they are interested in the truth like they say they are, so if everybody's being honest, I've been honest the whole time, if they're being honest, then they should want the truth when somebody comes to them saying, look, I've now found out the truth, I'm telling you the truth. And if their immediate reaction is, you're a shill, you've always been a shill, we knew it, I knew it the whole time, I knew not to trust you, well then, teach their own. They can't, if they're not going to listen to me, what am I going to do? It's like yelling at the wall, right? What good does that do? The answer, not much. Not much. Somebody said, well, again, Jaron, you trained these people to think like that. So, well, no, I would think that I was training them on, and I would even say, don't indoctrinate your kids into flat earth. Teach them how to think. Teach them that there's different options, that you should always stay on one side. Don't ever dig your feet in. So it's just something that a narrative that's going around the globe community that's wrong, but that's fine. You can believe that. I certainly didn't tell them when you have 9 people who provide you with firsthand experience with live streaming, okay, that you should doubt that. I've never said that. Never even would dream of that. You've got ironclad evidence that the event happened. So if people choose to treat it like the moon landing and start talking about sun shadows, it's like, wait, what are you saying? I don't get it. The claim against the moon landing is that there's one camera feed. That's much different, right? That's extremely different. Wait, hold on. I need to collect a scene. Yeah, this scene. Even look at the clouds around it. You can't even see. It is bad weather down there too. But those are the things that you can doubt. And in fact, I'm one of the people that I thought that the girl Babbitt died on January 6th. I still do, by far. I know she died. So, and again, in the truth community, that's not allowed. You're not allowed to say that. Ashley Babbitt was a psyop, and she didn't die, and she still lives with her family, and her kids are still have their mother, which isn't true. But what it allows people to do is, if you're a truther, you can say things like that cannot be proven wrong. Even if I went to her house and rang the doorbell and the husband answered, I said, "Where's your wife?" And he's like, "She fucking died, you retard." And I said, "Well, I don't think so. Show me her bedroom's cleared out." Whatever I show you, you'll just claim as part of the conspiracy. So there's no winning. So flat earthers have done a pretty good job of setting themselves up in positions that they feel they can't be. Oh, let's go live here. Here we go.
T-minus 30 seconds.
If you want to watch the launch into the... I think it's just going to go up in the clouds and nobody's going to see it at all. Not even the cameras. Would be a prediction. And it's so weird. I wonder what they scrubbed the last 2 days for. It was nice weather. At least up here.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9. Go SpaceX, go Starlink.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal. Vehicle is pitching down range.
Watch, I'm not going to show anything. Nothing to see here. Do you want my reaction? I could be like Tim Dodd.
Power and
Go!
telemetry nominal.
Go! Go! They're doing it, guys! Go! No, I'm sorry. Doesn't excite me that much. So what I've realized is, you know what rocket launches are? Any idea? It's sports for nerds.
Vehicle is supersonic.
They've got their stats. They've got their agendas. They've got their schedule. What's going to happen tomorrow? Oh, it's rained out. Oh, it'll be tomorrow. They'll replay the game. oh, my team SpaceX. Oh, you like NASA. I like
MaxQ.
I like JAXA. I like so it's just sports for nerds. I'm not, no. But I have questions about rocket launches, and of course, so watching these ones and
And back
seeing
chill.
if these cloud data matches what I'm seeing. So far, I don't even know where California is.
All good call-outs and a good flight of the Falcon 9 so far. Now approaching the 2-minute mark into flight. That most recent call-out you just heard. SpaceX, as they are conditioning the Merlin vacuum engine on the Falcon 9's second stage prior to the start of its first burn.
I mean, we got to be honest.
As we approach the 2-minute mark, we're coming up on those 3 events that I mentioned earlier. First stage main engine cutoff is now less than 20 seconds away. That'll be followed by stage separation and then the ignition of that Merlin vacuum engine. The payload fairings will be deployed just before the 3-minute mark.
Data said it's a little weird because I'm trying to. Oh, there's the land. I was trying to look where the land
Beautiful
was.
view of North America here as the Falcon 9 continues to climb.
Move the map, please.
Main engine cut up.
Sorry about that cut off there.
Stage
It's
separation
opening something.
confirmed.
Come on, get out of the way, screen.
And back ignition.
I'm gonna go to full screen just real quick. I want to see YouTube solo screen. This one.
Fairing separation confirmed.
I mean, that is difficult to
Here we see those Starlink
To say
satellites
is not
now
real.
exposed to the vacuum of space for the first time on this mission.
just because of what California supposedly looks like right now, what they're showing. I mean, again, it could be some Unreal Engine or whatever, but that rocket launched. Anybody who was near that saw it. That looks like over here, if you're looking, oh, can you see how? This is the coast here. I don't know about this side. This is just the other view, so it's this one. And this, look, I'm up in here. It launched from here. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. I'm up in here. It launched from, now I lost where we were. It launched from right in this area.
Now T plus 3 minutes, 50 seconds into flight. Coming up, the next milestone we're looking at is just after the 6-minute mark when the first stage entry burn begins.
Oh, they are trying
That's
to
when
land
3
it?
of the Merlin engines on the Falcon 9's first stage will reignite, beginning to slow the vehicle down dramatically. If you take a look back or at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you can see that the first stage booster has reached its apparent apogee at 116 kilometers in altitude.
Huh.
Appears to be one of the Channel Islands cruising by in the upper left-hand corner
Upper
of the
left?
box with the booster.
It's San Clemente.
Those occasional puffs you're seeing between the hypersonic grid fins are the cold gas thrusters, helping to adjust the attitude or the positioning of the vehicle, helping to make sure it's in the right orientation prior to the start.
I do think
of
that
that
there was a
entry
cut
burn.
to CGI, says Ichidu. I'll have to check back to that because it did look pretty. I mean, this looks accurate to what you would expect here. That is the coast. It launched from here. I'm up in this region where the clouds are. So, but people that were down there saw it launch. I wonder if is Rhino in the chat? I don't know. Rhino, did you see anything, or was it completely blocked out for you? He was a little closer, but he's still in Monterey. So, Apogee is the name of the smoke shop I work at. Nice.
Taking a look up through the inner stage on the left-hand side of your screen. It's at the top of the Falcon 9 first stage booster.
No, I don't think people are saying that. Yeah, they should be landing on a drone ship. Somebody says different camera angles don't mean CGI. No, but I think that to recognize that this stuff could be faked, right? Could be. But I think that we need to,
We're
pay
now
attention
just
to.
about or slightly less than 30 seconds away from the
We need
entry
to
burn.
pay attention to the fact that people see the rocket launch, and it's got a camera on it, so you can watch it launch from the rocket. And if the ground makes sense as to what you're seeing, I don't know why, at what point we can start claiming fake on that. Because, again, like you said, there would have to be a cut to something completely different looking. I didn't see that, but I'll rewind it and watch again. It looked like it was a pretty continuous shot. And it looked legit. I don't know. Again, it does change your perception of things when you kind of move that block. You just are open-minded to everything now, and I'm kind of looking at the things that would be needed if it was a faked
28
view.
seconds in total.
Look how fast it's coming down.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
With the conclusion of that entry burn, we're now looking for the start of the landing burn, set to begin at about T plus 7 minutes.
It's 34,
50
31
seconds.
kilometers.
So
It's
we're
like-
just about a minute away
Stage
from
1 FTS has saved.
that single engine burn.
It's a weird view over there on the left. Come on, clear up.
That's
That's
call you just heard as well. The FTS being safe. That's the flight termination system. Now no longer needed on this stage of the flight.
yeah, Rhino. I have the same. That's why I didn't even go. It's like there's videos of a guy with designed some software that makes his amateur. I've seen it. It's pretty good. But I mean, there's people that go to these launches. Is what I'm saying. Now it is weird that they didn't launch the last 2 days when I think it was been clear in California completely, and then they went today when we just saw it fly
Stage
through
2
clouds.
FTS has
So
saved.
I don't know what their reason was for not for scrubbing the launch the last. What is it? 3 days or
Good
2?
Call outs from SpaceX.
Thursday, Friday. Yeah, just the last 2.
Now a little less than 20 seconds away from the start of the landing burn.
So it's already 3 kilometers from the ground. That's one thing that it's very hard to grasp for me that you could.
Stage 1 landing burn.
What is that out in the water over there to the right? That was weird.
Stage 2 terminal guidance.
Let's see.
Landing leg deployed.
Oh, that was weird.
1 landing confirmed.
And a
What?
very nice clear view of that booster B-1075 touching down on the drone ship. Of course, I still love you.
Going back a little bit. I'm checking that again. Go.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Sorry, we're watching this again. Replay.
Stage 2 terminal guidance.
Landing leg deployed.
I mean, besides the camera being like way delayed, right? Isn't it way delayed? Let's try it one more time. What I mean by way delayed is this one's legs are down way before this one. Just not the same. See, the legs are already completely down. Notice that they're not continuing down, but these ones are still going down, still going down, still going down. Now they're locked. Just
Stage
a
1 landing
couple
confirmed.
seconds off, a second off, 2 seconds. But it looked
And a
like it's the
very
same thing.
nice clear view of that booster B-1075 touching down on the drone ship.
Stage 1 landing confirmed. Landing leg deployed.
Trying to orient myself with the the poster on both sides. Never mind, can't orientate yourself that. Looking across there. Anyway,
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
that was fun. All right, I'll open up the Q&A and see
And
if
a
anybody wants to
very
talk.
nice clear view of that booster B-1075
We're
touching
gonna
down on the drone
close
ship.
this
Of course, I
one.
still love you.
But let's just do it for a couple minutes, and I'm going to go spend the time with La Family. The family. Oops, there we go. Start Q&A. Boom. Make sure you ask them in the Q&A. I'll just be looking there. And I'm not going to get to them all, so get in early. Or forever hold your peace or something like that. Whatever they say. Did you guys watch last night's show? I thought it was pretty funny.
Nominal orbit.
Oops, that's the wrong one. Don't go that one. My bad. Wrong show. We're not on Unplugged. Wrong show. Wrong show. Let's get over here instead. But last night on my show, I kept drinking out of this mug. So rude. I kept drinking out of
And
this
a
mug
good
last night.
call from SpaceX for a nominal orbit insertion. At this point, the
My wife bought that
Falcon
for me.
9's upper stage enters
She's like, I
into
got you a
post
coffee mug. I'm like,
period
what? Why would you give me a
until
coffee mug?
about
I don't drink
T
coffee.
plus 54 minutes and 9
She's
seconds.
like, you'll see.
There'll be a second brief burn.
Is
of
she-
about
is she
2
trolling me?
seconds
That's the
on
question.
Upper stage engine.
Don't troll me, Missa. Whatever you're doing. Jaren, are you getting a buzz for space stuff? I have been now. No, I don't think so. I do want to see a launch, I guess. I want to see one from a distance so I can see that it takes, a minute to show up on my horizon, which would be very impossible for flat earthers to explain. So I want to see that. I want to film one. I want to see one live. So I guess you could say I'm getting the fever for at least seeing one live, but not to become a NASA fanboy or anything. No. Thank you for that, by the way. Do I have this showing up on the screen or no? Get chat overlay. Copy. I've got over here. It's called YouTube singled out chat properties. Place. Okay. That might work. Let's see here. So this go on the screen. Yeah. There it is. Oh, it's blocked. Well, let me fix that. I just put this together the other day. And what is this called? Unplugged 2? Yes. And this would be the alerts. No. YouTube singled out chat. Where's that? Here. Move that up to the top. Go. Move it this way. That's better. Okay, now I can see this. The hairless primate. Thank you very much for that. We've got, is this rocket that's headed for the moon? I don't think so, but somebody told me to check into, you can't see that right. Somebody told me to check in that there's one that landed on the moon that took a picture of the other rover. Anybody know about that? I'll look at it in a second. Have you asked David Weiss for your Bitcoin yet? Keep crushing, man. I have not, and have not talked to him. We've got Flippos says, what content should people expect to see from you going forward? Crypto content, perhaps conspiracies that are a bit more rooted in reality and plausible? Yes. Perhaps your thoughts on random events? Yeah. I do want to, we're going to start a radio station. Already got some hosts lined up. And I think I ultimately want to do like a nightly show. Our nightly show. I might do a relationship kind of show on Friday nights or Saturday nights. And then I've got a couple people ready to work morning shows. We want to get as many people as we can. And it's just going to be a different kind of radio station, basically like TFR. But it's called Rebels Radio. So REBELS radio.com. It will be coming soon enough. We got to get some scheduling in place and understand how it all works and figure out what music we can use and what we can't. Copyright issues, that kind of thing. But then, yeah, I like subjects like, I don't know, I like real, crimes, whatever you want to call those, crime stories. But covering just some conspiracies, like you say, that I think have been overlooked, or things that go back and look at those. Each show could have a topic. It'll be fun. So I'd say that kind of content, and then also continuing to look into the space stuff for sure. Space stuff is still very important to me. What do we have here? Does the rocket keep speeding up because the vacuum is sucking it so hard? I don't know if that's how it works. I don't think that's what's going on. Have you spoken to Red since TFE? Red's Rhetoric? I was on his show. We had a 3-hour show. Go look at his channel. Kevin Venture, are you going to watch the rocket deploy the Starlink satellites? Is it doing that today? Let me check. I thought it was over. Live.
For all of us here at Spaceflight Now, I'm Will Robinson Smith. Remember, be good to yourselves, be good to others, and we will see you next time.
Open your mind. There's true.
If all goes well with the launch of the...
I don't think they're showing it. Yeah, that's already over. We can actually shut those down in 1 second. Let me finish these. Just to clarify, I'm not a space fanboy. Just more interested. Yeah. No, I get you. Obviously, I'm more interested. Obviously, I want to go see one launch from close and then film one from far. So, do you believe astronauts have been in space? Good question, man. Goodness gracious. I'm going to say undetermined. I think there's a good chance that they are there. So, but I'm not comfortable to say 100% yet that they are. And if it's even space that we've been described, or if it's even a vacuum, or if they're, again, those things. I still don't think people have been to the moon. For several reasons, but I think one of the best bit of evidence is there's a linguistics expert who has assessed Buzz and Neil and and especially Neil refused to ever say the word I. So he would never say I on the moon did this or I did that. He would always say one would, something like that. So the linguistic expert shows in that there's no ownership in it. He doesn't own it. He doesn't act as if somebody who has been to a place. He's telling a story that he's either been told, or you have to watch that. It's just look up linguistic expert. Let's see if I can find it. Linguistics expert on Neil Armstrong. And then I went looking for other examples. This is body language. Where's the guy? Not body language. Let's see, National Armstrong. I'll have to find it. I can't remember where. It'll be in my list here. I'm going to check over here. But that's very interesting to hear and see. Where is this? It's going to be here. Yeah, let's go NEIL. Oh, I remember this interview is good because he doesn't say anything in here. I watched this interview after just to see if
60 Minutes Rewind.
If he owned any words, and he doesn't. Or using any
how
ownership
often
words.
do you come back here?
Oh, not often enough. I always enjoy getting up here.
So he always enjoys being up there. I always enjoy being up here. I always enjoy this. I always enjoy that. Now watch when he switches to the moon. It'll never be an I.
Seeing this view along this beach and down here with all these launch pads.
That was your launch
my old
pad?
launch pad there for Apollo.
Must have been a lot of force on that rocket. But what did it feel like?
Well, when you first get off the pad, you're still lifting a lot of fuel weight. So an acceleration is very low. But in the case of the Saturn rocket, the big Saturn rocket, it had a lot of shaking. It felt like a train on a bad railroad track and shaking in every direction. And it was loud, really loud.
Did you have butterflies?
Sure.
So he's shaking. It's really loud, right? But then you have Buzz Aldrin. When he's asked what was it like, he said we couldn't even tell we were taking off. It was so smooth, we didn't know we had left the command module. So again, can people have wrong memories? I mean, sure. But it is funky that they can't get that right. And then the whole stars and space thing doesn't make a lot of sense. They couldn't get that answer right. And it seems that everybody's had to kind of deal with that since. This question of whether or not you can see stars in space. Neil Armstrong said the only stars you could see, the only thing you could see in space, in cislunar space, which is the space between the moon and the Earth, was the sun and the Earth. So he said, I heard a few people saw planets. I can't report seeing that. But then again, we're told that they traveled by looking at the stars. That the stars, you have to match them up through some screen, and then so you could see them to travel. But he said, and he specifically says, in cislunar space. I'm trying to find this other, where was that? It should be in my notes because I did do a video on it. Nielsen Project More, Gravity Bending Light. Well, let me see if I can find this. It was, what is that guy's name? Oh, you know who did a video on it was Taboo Conspiracy. He might have more details about it. Hold on one second, let me find it. Come on, where we got this one, not this one, not this one. Oh, God, I almost remember his name. Nope. Nope. Let me go real quick here and check something. Find this for us. Okay, remember even what the video I did on it. Where was it? During a live stream? Oh boy. That's not what I meant to do. Just so people can watch, we're just reviewing all information before we jump to conclusions. But I'm at least open to... What is that? Oh, sorry. Look at something else. Let me go here and go... Yeah, this guy. This is the video I'm talking about.
I edited the video and shortened it. The original video was produced by this website, Rich Planet TV. I'll have a link to the website where you can go and purchase the content. As far as I can tell,
So we're going to this. And let's see if we find the linguistic part.
actually distance themselves from an actual denial.
Here we go.
And what about qualifying words which change or weaken a statement? Tell us about that.
Sure. It can be used appropriately. It can be used inappropriately. If I said to you, I locked my keys in the car, you can be confident that I know where my keys are. They're locked in the car. If I said to you, I think I locked my keys in the car, that's called a weak assertion because I'm not certain if they're there. I did not shoot that man is very different from saying, I don't think I shot the man.
So I selected a 7-minute long Neil Armstrong interview.
Now he reads it, but he's reading the report of this guy that we just saw, Peter Hyatt. And Peter Hyatt went from believing in the moon landings to not after doing this assessment. And we'll see why as he goes through sentence by sentence. And you'll notice that he knows exactly what he's talking about. It's kind of scary to see how much they know about speaking. But the more that you listen to him, the more you realize he's absolutely right. That this man disassociates, disconnects himself with the event at all possible avenues. Let's listen.
1970, transcribed it, and I've asked Peter to analyze it, which he's done. Cost me $275 for the analysis. So that's what you've paid for, essentially, by coming here. So, so this interview aired on the Sky at Night on the 18th of November 1970, which is less than a year and a half after the moon landings. So everything should be pretty clear in Neil Armstrong's mind. So what you're going to see here is a very short clip of the interview, followed by Peter Hyatt's analysis, then another clip, and then more analysis. So although it's only a 7-minute long interview, probably take me 20, 25 minutes to get through the analysis. So here goes.
Mr. Armstrong, I do realize that when you were on the moon, you had very little time for gazing upwards. But could you tell us something about what the sky actually looks like from the moon, the sun, the earth, the stars, if any, and so on?
The sky is a deep black when viewed from the moon, as it is when viewed from cislunar space, the space between the Earth and the moon.
We note and as pauses in the answer and seek to determine if this is a habit of speech or if it is a signal that the subject needs more time to consider his answer. That he began with the sky is deep black indicates a willingness to answer the question directly. This is a somewhat lengthy answer which begins with 2 pauses for thought. The subject is presupposed to have been on the moon, something of great rarity at the time of this interview. The subject is intelligent and well trained. The expectation is that he will, according to the wording of the question, report what he himself saw. In any singular or exclusive event, there is an expectation of heightened importance, and when we speak from experiential memory, the structure of the sentence is reliable. Expected. Given the unique experience of being on the moon, we first note that the subject does not begin his answer with the
So what's crazy is I can compare this now to my trip to Antarctica, and I'll just tell you a couple of things. That when Bart Sibrel approached Buzz Aldrin, and asked him about footage that he claims was fake, Buzz Aldrin's response was, "Why don't you talk to NASA? Go talk to the guys at NASA. We were just some guys on a flight." That'd be the equivalent of you guys asking me about Vapegate or about footprints in the snow, and me saying, "Why are you talking to me? I was just there on a trip. Go talk to Duffy. He was in charge of the trip." Okay, so I would never say that because I was there. And so I can answer you in eyes. Well, I saw this and I saw that and I did this and I did see footprints and I was seeing my breath, and I can use I because I was there. But Neil Armstrong fails to use the word I. He won't place himself there. Now, whether, because I know some people say that they've been brainwashed or something, I don't know. But I'm just saying he's not using the words you would use.
Given the context of unique experience, the pronoun I would have shown the psychological strength of experiential memory. Its absence is noted. Even with influence from the interviewer, the expectation is the experiential use of I saw in some part of the answer. Next, we note the use of passive voice with when viewed from the moon. Passive voice removes the subject himself personally from
so they're asking, when viewed from the moon, one would see this, one would see that. but we're asking you what you saw. You were the only one who's been there. So you would think, like when somebody asks me about Antarctica, I have to answer in eyes. Not one would see the sun go around them if one was in Antarctica, because that seems weird if I'm using that, but they asked me about my trip.
Statement. The use of passivity is found in concealing identity and or responsibility in statements. For example, the gun went off is passive voice. If the subject was in a crowd and did not know who fired the gun, this would be appropriate. Here, the subject is describing a universal viewing and avoiding the singular experience that is expected. Next, when viewed from cislunar space, the space between the Earth and the Moon. This is similar to the universal pronoun you that is used to describe a common experience. This leads to a question. Is viewing the space between the Earth and the Moon a common experience that listeners would readily relate to?
The Earth is the only visible object other than the Sun that can be seen, although there have been some reports of seeing planets.
This is his second sentence after reporting in both passive and universal language. He tells us in general terms what you, universal unnamed, can know, similar to what would be reported in a textbook. Please note the inclusion of some reports. He has thus far avoided giving us personal experience that is highly expected in such an event. This is an indication of avoidance of the response.
And he's reading a report by
There is no linguistic connection here between the subject
Peter Hyatt,
and experiential language at this point.
who is a linguistics expert.
The rule of the negative. Truthful people tell us what they saw, heard, and experienced. When one tells us what they did not see, a la part 1, or hear or experience, the analyst recognizes that this sentence increases in importance.
I myself did not see planets from the surface, but I suspect they might be visible.
Here we not only have the rule of the negative, but we have the unnecessary addition of the word myself. Since he experienced something highly unique, not only does he report what he did not see, but he feels it necessary to input himself into the sentence where no such imputation should be needed. Who else would be answering this question, or not seeing what he did not see? He offers a weak assertion, I suspect they might be visible, appropriately matching might with suspect. Being that he has thus far not told us what he has seen, it is interesting to note the inclusion of the word suspect. What other word might he have chosen? I think they might be visible would be an appropriately weak assertion where one lacks certainty. The word think is the most commonly chosen. Therefore, we note the use of suspect or suspicion within his vocabulary in context of his answer. We continue to wait to hear him tell us what he saw.
The Earth is quite beautiful from space and from the Moon. It looks quite small and quite remote, but it's very blue and covered with white lace and the clouds, and the continents are clearly seen, although they have very little color from that distance.
Okay, this is just an aside from myself. He said that from the Moon, the Earth looks very small and remote. Now, the Earth is 4 times the diameter of the Moon, and we're all used to seeing the Moon in the sky and how big it is. So if you were to see something that big in the sky, would you call it small and remote?
I mean, that's a little misleading, of course. Something 4 times the size of the Moon. The Moon's relatively small in the sky. It looks big at the horizon, but when it's above you, it's relatively small. You can block it with a dime, really. So 4 times as big is going to be bigger, but I would still say it would look small and remote if you're that far away and saw the Earth. But I mean, that's just kind of an aside. I wouldn't have brought that up if I were him right there. Well, I might have back in.
Here we have more
then.
sensory description, but we have not heard him tell us what he himself saw. The description is strong, but is not yet connected to the subject. This could come from him, or it could
And
come
what you guys can do is go, now that you've heard that, go watch other Neil Armstrong interviews and just listen to him talk. And this is a habit of his when talking about the moon landing. But when he's talking about something else, he will use the word I. Oh, my wife and I, we went to, we did this, I did this. But when it comes to the moon, for some reason, it's just a something that he said. It's funny though. My wife and I were in bed last night and we're talking, and I said, I shouldn't even admit this, but I said, as we're talking, and I said, she was like, "Oh man, can you believe it's already February?" And I was like, "No, January flew by." I'm like, "Man, it was a month and a half ago that I went to Antarctica." I'm like, "That's so crazy," because I can remember it, but I can remember like I wasn't there, and it makes no difference either way. And as I said it, I was like, "Oh my God, that's what Mike Collins said." And she's like, "Yeah, you just said the exact same thing." I was like, "Oh man, I know," because I've always gone on Mike Collins' case. Mike Collins, in an interview with Brian Gumbel, when asked, "Hey, how do you feel about when you look up and see the moon at night?" And he says, "Well, I can look up in the sky and I can remember where I was 20 years ago, or I can pretend like I've never been there and it works for me either way." And I was like, that's bullshit. You would never say that about a place you really were. You would never say that you can pretend you were never there and it works for you either way. But I kind of was saying the same thing. I was just like, I can remember Antarctica. It will always be a memory. or I can pretend I wasn't there, and it makes no difference either way. Just kind of funny when you're like, oh, well, I guess that's not really good evidence, is it? So you learn what to accept and what not to, I guess.
Book or another's opinion. With such a stupendous history-making event, we expect to hear up-close personal language. Thus far, we have not.
What about the sun?
I do differ because in this case, I mean, if you go listen to me when people are asking me about the trip, I'm making a point to say I, not out of knowledge of this, but just because you need people to know that what you saw, what I saw this or we saw this, I tried this, we did that, but it to just completely remove the word I can't even imagine that. So then I would have to be down there and I would just have to say, well, one would see this one went to Antarctica and it appears this way and it appears this way, but you'd almost have to try not to use the word I.
Of the corona.
No, the glare from the sun on the helmet visor was too difficult to pick out the corona.
Here he says no, which answers the question, but then continues to avoid personal linguistic connection, such as, no, the glare of the sun on my helmet visor was too difficult for me to pick out the corona. This would have been a statement.
Yeah, so he doesn't even say my or me.
Which he has not yet made. Remember, he was asked, did you? With the focus upon himself. He should answer for himself.
The only time we could see the corona was during an eclipse of the sun from the moon. That is, when we were flying through the moon's shadow and could observe the solar corona peeking out from behind the moon.
Even if he said the only time I could see was when we were flying.
Now I'm even more confused. Didn't he just say, couldn't you see the solar corona? And I thought he said something about the visor, but he wouldn't have had the visor on. He was in the craft. He wasn't on the moon. Hold on.
Terms what you, universal unnamed, can know, similar to what would be reported in a textbook of avoidance of the response. Heard and experienced. When one tells
myself did not see planets from the surface.
Something highly unique answering this question, or that he has the appropriately.
Sorry, I'm fast forwarding back.
Continue,
but
here
it's very blue.
No, not there.
And we're all used to seeing, heard him tell us what stupendous
glare from the sun on the helmet.
Close personal.
Okay, I want to hear this part.
Thus far, we have not.
What about the sun? Do you see any trace of the corona?
No, the glare from the sun on the helmet visor was too difficult.
Wait, so he asked him, what about the sun? Could you see the solar corona? So the corona can only be seen during an eclipse. And I thought the eclipse happened when they were on the craft. He wouldn't be talking to him about seeing the corona from the moon's surface, right? How would you see the corona of the sun? You'd be looking at the bright sun. Kind of confused about that. So he says, no, the glare from the sun on the helmet visor, but you weren't wearing a helmet in the craft. We've seen. So let me continue this. That's confusing.
To pick out the corona.
Here he says no, which answers the question, but then continue personal connection, which he has not yet made.
Because then he goes here straight into.
Did you? With the focus upon himself. He should answer for himself.
The only time we could see the corona was during an eclipse of the sun from the moon. That is, when we were flying through the moon.
Oh, okay. So now he's saying the only time we could see the corona was during the eclipse. Okay, so he's saying you couldn't see it from the ground. Wait, what? So you couldn't see anything from the ground because the visor on the helmet. But then in the craft, now he doesn't have a helmet on, but he could see it because it's an eclipse. Okay, I get it.
Observe the solar corona peeking out from behind the moon.
Even if he said the only time I could see was when we were flying, which would fulfill the personal, impactful event on self while sharing we when flying. Stronger is what I saw rather than we. The pronoun we could be produced if he and at least one other discussed this specific topic. Still, given the nature of a most unique and overwhelming event, the expectation remains. We should be using I
have to agree. You have to use I.
Correlation with sensory description. Please consider that given the spectacular and unique privilege of what he experienced, the pronoun me may be used in a desire not to claim any glory or credit for himself.
I agree with that too.
This may be an indication of team over individual. Even with this accepted, we continue to expect him to at some point tell us what he experienced. Thus far, he has not. When the pronoun we is used consistently, we look for the first emergence of the pronoun I and conclude that the sentence containing it is very important.
Looking at the photographs that you brought back, the colored photographs of the moon surface, it seems that the color of the surface actually varies according to the angle from which you see it. Is this so? Does it do this?
Yes, it certainly does.
The wording is appropriate given the structure of the question. Does it do this? Answered by, it does. We do note the inclusion of certainly as an unnecessary emphasis.
It's a characteristic that we observe first while traveling around the moon in orbit. You could see that at the terminator.
Rather than saying we saw and the stronger I saw, he only tells us what they could see at this point. What causes this weak assertion? Why does this historical and spectacularly unique event not yet produce a personal response from the subject?
At the boundary between the black part of the moon and the lighted part of the moon. It was as if you were looking at a television set with the contrast turned to full contrast.
Here he uses the universal you, second person, that is more likely used in commonly experienced issues, such as a television set contrast. Still, however, the lack of personal connection linguistically raises the question of personal impact upon the subject. What follows next is distancing language.
Very black and very white. As you moved further into the light, there were more and more shades of gray. But as you moved further, such the sun was higher above the horizon, you actually start to see the tans and browns appear, although at a very low level.
This is distancing language. You, but the event described is specific to him and exclusively astronauts. There is nothing universal about the movement described. Whereas the listener can be referred to with the use of a television, the same cannot be said of space travel. Description is in the language, but there is no justification for the distancing use of the pronoun you in a very highly specialized and dramatic personal experience.
Similarly, on the surface of the moon, the same characteristic is evident.
Here, there is no pronoun I and no past tense verb. The pronoun I used with the past tense verb is a signal of linguistic commitment. Here, no use of I is also in a sentence where the present tense description is given.
You can see browns if the sun is high enough. Apollo 12, for example, landed while the sun was only 5 degrees above the horizon. So when they arrived, they saw no browns or tans anywhere, only fairly high contrast grays.
He refers back to history and reports what is commonly and already known. The interviewer has asked him specifically for himself of his experiences. This general answer may have caused this next interruption.
But you did.
But, yes, I did. The sun was 11 degrees. And Apollo 12 did also the next day when they arose from their sleeping period and the sun was higher. Of course, then the browns were...
You notice he was forced there.
We finally have the...
Forced to basically say I. Because he said, you did. You did. You saw. Yeah, I saw. Yeah. But he's certainly not trying to say that.
Subject speaking for himself. Unfortunately, it is due to an interruption. When he said, yes, I did, we hold to an expectation that he would now include himself, I, and tell us the sensory descriptions that he holds within personal experiential memory. He does not. He went back to history from his previous answer. Therefore, we do not have the linguistic connection that remains expected.
When you were actually walking about on the moon surface and kicking about a certain amount of dust, did you notice any local color? And also, were you at all subconsciously worried about the possibility of unsafe areas?
The interviewer presumes he was walking on the moon. We have yet to hear Mr. Armstrong make this claim, or more expectedly, since there is no accusation to the contrary, spoken or unspoken, the linguistic connection.
Well, the color is a puzzling phenomenon on the moon, aside from the characteristics.
I find myself I'm
mentioned.
even trying to believe it. I'm really trying. I'm like actually trying, and I can't get there. I just cannot get there. He doesn't act to me at all like somebody who was there. Just unless he's been trained to be like, oh, we only talk about things we're NASA, we're one thing, we are all one people, so we never do anything ourselves. Maybe if there's some sort of training, I've never heard of that training. I'm just saying that's the only excuse you could make, that he definitely is trying to distance himself. Now, maybe that's something that they were trained to do. Maybe it's like, we don't want you to be famous for this as a person. It's more the people of the United States came together to do. And I'm just making excuses now, but trying to see some reason that you would just not own the event. Especially if somebody says, but you saw it. I mean, if somebody told me about that, if I said, well, we saw the sunspots, they flipped upside down. Jaron, you saw it? Yes, I saw it. Me, myself, I saw it. I walked over, watched, and then I would go through a story of, owning that. Not just say, I saw it, and then go on to something else about saying we again or something. It just seems like it's an attempt. And again, if it was just this one piece of footage, I think you could have a complaint that, well, it's a cherry-picked interview. But he's done several. So you could go and listen to them and again see if it's the same thing. And then again, I've shown many times that they've got different answers about what they actually felt. You've got one of them saying it was a super smooth ride that they couldn't even tell they lifted off the launch pad. And then you've got Armstrong saying it shook so bad that you couldn't see straight. Kind of weird.
You generally have the impression of being on a desert-like surface with rather light-colored hues. Yet when you look at the material at close range, as if in your hand, you find it's a charcoal gray, in fact, and we were never able to find anything that were very different from that color. I suspect that as we get more and more samples with future flights, we will see that there is.
And see, that's something that he does suspect.
Optical properties on the moon are most peculiar.
I do believe even if we didn't go to the moon, these guys were told we will go there eventually. And so you're just getting there to get us through the space race, and we're just going to prove that we're better than Russia. And so we're just going to fake it, but we'll eventually get there in just a couple years. And so then you'll be vindicated and everything will be what we said. And so they kind of went along with it for American pride. So then here he's saying, I suspect that we'll see more samples, and when those samples come back, they will, see what we said we will see. But it's not him. He's owning that. He's owning I suspect that in the future we will get more.
The theme of distance continues in the description of color. First, he uses the self-reference that I've already mentioned, rather than engage in experiential memory. We note the first reference was also not first-person statement. Next, we note that he avoids telling us what he himself saw by using second-person universal you. You generally have the impression. It is impossible for anyone not there to have this impression, including the interviewer, who did not experience it. We prefer he state, without qualification, what he saw. When the pronoun I reemerges, it is a weak assertion. I suspect that as we get.
Yeah, Mike, I'll do one second.
Disconnect from the formula of reliability. First person singular past tense with sensory description.
When you were actually walking about, did you have any difficulty in distance judging? Because I think I heard you say once that far things looked quite near.
Far things looked quite near. The topic is sight. The one being interviewed is singular. We look for him to answer with I saw in some form. Sensory is very individual.
This is very interesting to me. I want to hear this part because I will say that in Antarctica, it did seem that I saw things that they said were far away, up close. They do seem closer. So I'd have to see what his answer is here. Because I'm guessing that has something to do with the very thin atmosphere and the lack of moisture. But I'm just trying to think in my head now, wouldn't that make something look further? Lack of moisture. You think moisture would be like a magnifying lens. So moisture would actually cause things to look closer, wouldn't that? Interesting. I want to hear what he says.
When it is discussed, one may then say the thoughts or perceptions of another. And here he is interviewed alone and is being asked for first-person eyewitness account. He does not give a first-person singular account.
Yes, we had some difficulties in perception of distance. For example, our television camera we judged to be from the cockpit of the lunar module only about 50 to 60 feet away, yet we knew that we had pulled it out to the full extension of a 100-foot cable. Similarly, we had difficulty guessing how far the hills out on the horizon might be. The peculiar phenomena is the closeness of the horizon due to the greater curvature of the moon than we have here on Earth, of course 4 times greater, and the fact that it is an irregular surface with crater rims overlying other crater rims. you can't see the real horizon. You're seeing hills that are somewhat closer to you. There was a large crater.
Wait, what? Okay, hold on. That doesn't seem right at all. So, we judged to be from the cockpit. Okay, I got that part. Full extent. Okay, so similarly, we had difficulty at guessing how far the hills out on the horizon might be. Okay, I would agree with that. Peculiar phenomenon is the closeness of the horizon. Okay, so the horizon is going to be closer, but not much. I mean, you're talking, he says 4 times as much. I mean, that doesn't mean that the horizon would be 1 mile away from you. I don't think. I have to look into that. But he says, closer, okay. Of course, 4 times greater. And the fact that it was an irregular surface with crater rims overlying other crater rims, you can't see the real horizon. You're seeing hills that are somewhat closer to you. What are you talking about? The entire horizon wasn't hills. We've seen pictures. What is he talking about?
Which we overflew during our final approach, which had hills of the order of 100 feet in height. And we were only 1,100 feet west of that hill, and we couldn't see a 100-foot high hill from 1,100 to 1,200 feet away.
Perception.
What? Why?
He does not speak for himself, including in the realm of perception.
And that's just ridiculous. I mean, not being able to see a 100-foot hill from 11 to 1,200 feet?
Wait, what is he talking about?
What do you mean? That's 1/5 of a mile, and you're not able to see 100.
Let me show you a picture just of Apollo 11 here. Okay, let me show you this. This is Apollo 11 here. What is he talking about? He said, if I repeat, that we looked all around us and we could only see mountains, not the horizon. What is this line back here? He's either being photoed or that's a photo of him. So what the hell is he talking about? What about this view? That is what? Never even put that together. What is he talking about? I think he's making shit up. Let's go back a little bit and hear that one more time, because he's not talking about the same Apollo 11 we've seen.
100-foot hill.
1,200 feet away. Height. And we were only 1,100 feet during our final approach, which had hills of the order of 100 feet surface, with due to the greater curvature of the moon than we have here on Earth, of course, 4 times greater, and the fact that it is an irregular surface with crater rims overlying other crater rims. You can't see the real horizon. You're seeing hills that are somewhat closer to you. There was a large crater which we overflew during our final approach, which had hills of the order of 100 feet in height, and we were only 11.
Perception.
And that's just ridiculous. Mile, and you're not able to see 100-foot tall as a 10-story building.
This is to address the brain's interpretation of what was seen or experienced. He consistently in the interview tells us what we saw, we thought, we perceived, as well as what you saw, and so on. Although many of these topics were likely discussed, he should still be speaking for himself. This use of we is...
And I think I've figured it out. The moon, according to them, would be 29 or 30 inches per mile squared. So I'm just thinking, so you're talking about, he said you couldn't see a 100-foot mountain from 1,200 feet away. What? It doesn't even jive with anything. Like, what are you talking about? That's 1/4 mile. So you're 1/4 mile away from something. So the curvature of the moon would be 1/4. It'd be like 8 inches. That's how much you lost. But he said you can't see a 100-foot mountain. Okay, whatever. Yeah,
it's most unexpected. We must now consider that if he is not deceptive, why does he have a reason to join a crowd, even in personal experience and perception?
Did you notice any obvious difference between the far side and the near side as you went on it? I mean, apart from the obvious difference in topography.
No observable differences in color, but then the sun's angle was always somewhat different over there, so it would be difficult to make a general correlation. I would say the topography is a striking change. Of course,
I would say
all your viewers know, there are no seas on the far side of the moon, and it's all highlands and high mountains, big craters. So it's strikingly different from the
The weakness continues. I would say the topography is future conditional tense. Even in this singular opinion, he does not give a reliable connection.
So just one more thing I'd like to ask you. You're one of the very, very few people, I think, whose opinion on this is really worth having. In fact, very informative. Do you think, from your knowledge of the moon, having been there, that it is going to be possible in the foreseeable future to set up scientific bases there on anything like a large scale?
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm quite certain that we'll have such bases in our lifetime. Somewhat like the Antarctic station.
Oh, he wasn't even ready with my sound effects
similar
board.
scientific
Enrique.
outposts, continually.
I needed
manned.
a buzzer.
Although
It's a little late, but it's all right.
the problem of the environment, the vacuum, and the high and low temperatures of day and night. Still, in all, in many ways, it's more hospitable than Antarctica might be. There are no storms, no snow, no high winds, no unpredictable weather phenomena that we're yet aware of, and the gravity is a very pleasant kind of place to work in, better than here on Earth. And I think it would be quite a pleasant place to do scientific work, and quite practical.
So Armstrong, thank you very much. And again, let me say what a tremendous honor and privilege it's been to have you with us.
Thank you.
Here we have the use of two personal connections.
Did he go to the moon?
Both qualified.
You know, it's
the
a
first
question.
is
I don't know. We'll have to ask the survey says. Survey says? No. They say no. They say no. All right, let me finish these off. We were just looking at that real quick. I did hear something about going to the moon recently. Yeah, I heard that too. Are you going to fight Jake the asshole in the next UFC fight or what? I already challenged him with a $10,000 bet. He declined. Question, how are you doing? Doing all right. Thank you very much. Rewind the video further, please. I think they deployed the satellites a while back. I am pretty sure they showed it. I think we did see it on the stream. We saw it. Do you think that Flat Earth movement could have been a PSYOP? Yes. PSYOP is spelled with a PS, by the way. Yeah, I do think it could be, yes. I think that anytime the government can place people against other people, it secures their job, number one, and creates a dependency on them, number two. And that's what they ultimately want. So if people in government really wanted things to run smoothly and great, what they're actually doing is, basically getting themselves out of a job, right? Because if everybody got along and everything was working great and everything's going well, we don't really need government. So government is needed when you have disagreements, when you have frustrations, when you have people upset at the system, when you have people dependent on the system. So I think that that's why racism and things like that are not meant to be eradicated, even if they kind of were getting close. They're going to bring it back because it requires, it's the same thing with Roe versus Wade. It's the same thing with trans women in sports and trans men in sports, whatever they are. So you can just tell that they are okay with things. So this is just the new, they like left versus right? It's just people who make a team and then they almost stay on the team despite whatever their team does. People who are on the left used to be anti-war, now are pro the war in Israel. So it's just always this, they can move people's opinions around just by putting them on teams. So it's the same thing. Flat earthers are so smart that they're like, oh, we would never claim left versus right. That's a paradigm. That's meant to put us against each other. But then they do jump on the flat earth versus globe earth and they take their sides and they're very adamant about it. And if you don't believe what they do, then you're out. You got to go. So it's the same thing. It's just the new left versus right. It's just another way to separate people, another way to frustrate people, and another way to get people to waste their time on. We always make fun of people that are spending all their time watching sports or whatever, right? Where it's like, oh, they're just wasting their time watching sports. But then flat earthers are just wasting their time watching, debates or wasting their time watching Nachiketa talk about upward rising earthers, right? So it's kind of the same thing. It's just whatever people's taste are at the moment or whatever. So could it be a PSYOP? It's just a PSYOP like anything else. I guess I think of things on too much of a I guess you'd call it low level. I think there's things that can be done in like the end of the year that should show people where we live. If it was important enough to science, if it was important enough to NASA, to the to the NOAA, I don't know if you've ever seen this company Sen. I don't know if you've ever heard of these people. I just reached out to the owner today, told him, hey, if I go to Sen, it's the name of a channel. If you go to filters channel, it's just SEN. Let me go Sen space. Yeah. So this channel just showed up. 186 people are watching now. And I was watching this and I'm like, this looks real. Doesn't this look real? this looks like the real ground. So I'm like, what is this? What are they claiming this is? And they just supposedly put up a, let me go to their website. Where did I see their website? Oh, here we go. What, about videos? About, maybe I clicked on their account. So I'd never heard of Sen. So I went there. Yeah, here we go. So I went here, went to their website. Let me change view because this is only going to be a YouTube view, not there. And so then I saw this, which is a bunch of pictures from space. I was like, what is this? Very first thing I saw was that live stream of the ISS, and I was kind of confused. Then I went here and went to about, maybe? Somehow I found this whole section of, yeah, so then it says here, Sen launches 4K live stream of Earth and space. So I'm going through, see Earth now, democratizing space using video, making space data universally accessible. So I'm like, I think these guys are claiming that they are, oh, I went here, leadership. So I actually emailed the CEO, this guy here, Charles Black, emailed him this morning, just saying, so wait, can I hear what you guys are doing? Can I come check out what you're doing? And can I join you if what I think you're doing is true? So I want to check because they supposedly put up a live camera, three cameras in space. And I want to see how soon do they get the data? Where's these videos? I get to go back to here and here. So if you go to their video, now again, these are claimed to be real. We've got a real company claiming that these pictures are all real. Some of them are like these ones are what? They're claiming this is real? So that's probably the most, that is a crazy view that we're looking right there. So I want to go to their, wherever they're doing it, wherever they're getting this information, wherever they're claiming that this video feed is coming in, I want to go check on it. So I think that's kind of the thing that I'm going to be doing, just is kind of correcting, closing loose ends, if you will. But they've got all kinds of videos like this in here. And supposedly they're running a live stream on YouTube. And I'll tell you, some of these, like, you don't see these from the ISS. When do we ever see that from the ISS? So couldn't this be high altitude planes? Absolutely. But then you have to look at the speed that it's going, and then you say, oh, well, then they're flying, but it's in real time, but they're fast forwarding the footage. It just gets to be a little bit crazy to suspect that this is fake. So now I'm starting to wonder, do we have pictures of the Earth from space from these crafts? I mean, that's could be a plane, but that's higher. I don't know. And why did they, is that like supposed to be the edge? I can't really see that from there. I don't understand the cameras, how they fold out like that. It just doesn't, I mean, honestly, it doesn't look real. But again, I'm re-looking at things. I understand that I want to not just assume, okay, this is bullshit, which is what I would have done in the past. No, bullshit, they're not in space. They can't be up there. But now I'm wondering if they'll let me go see it. And I'm in a better position to do that than I would be before, right? So if I went and called that guy before and said, hey, I'm a flat earther, and they want nothing to do with me. But all of a sudden, hey, I'm the flat earther that went down to Antarctica and thinks the Earth is a ball now. And I found out you were doing video from space. Can I come see what you're doing? So there's more of a chance that that person now says, oh, we could use that for some publicity or something. Whereas I'm just using it to get some kind of a more sure position of what people are faking, what people are not faking. Are they faking space travel? Is this really the ISS? Does this match ISS footage? Why do we never see the ground from the ISS? We don't see ground like this. We don't see like cities and stuff like that. Not like they're showing. And then this folding, what is this going on? What is this? Is it just like one photo and then they're like or is that supposed to be some sort of travel? So I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, rather than just guess, which is what I would normally do, is just say, I don't know what they probably do. I'm going to reach out to people and try and get them to engage with me, at least to find out. Go. What is this? I mean, these don't look like views like from the ISS at all. And supposedly, let's go back to their YouTube channel. Supposedly, that's what they're running right now. If you go live, and they have one right out. This is supposedly from right now, right? But I did read they have 3 cameras, so I just want to find out more. I want to ask that CEO, where are these 3 cameras? What are they looking at? How often do they run? Do you get, the data right away? Are you getting it a day later? Just finding out those things. So I think I'm in a better position to do that now. I wanted to see if they don't show where they're at, because I mean, I could look up the ISS feed. Let me see. Because if it's doing that in live time, and we can, I mean, for instance, if somebody went to where the ISS, we know the ISS is going, and you went in underneath it and shined up a laser, this should be able to see that. It's close enough to the ground that there's no way a laser wouldn't be seen, especially a powerful one, or a huge light, or a spotlight, or something like that. So you would be able to verify that they're up there and that they're moving at the speed that they say. Again, I showed you guys how to do the ISS speed yesterday. Let me go ISS. No, it's Neo. Neo.com. Neo? No. N2Yo. Sorry. My mind is not working great today. N2Yo. N2Yo has a map that shows you where the ISS is. Let's see. So it's hopefully over ground. That's what this thing's claiming. The ISS is right now. No, that cannot be live. This is live? Yeah, the ISS is supposed to be over the water in between North America and South America, out over the Gulf of America. This does not look at all live. So watch. My prediction right now would be that guy won't... Oh! Now they just flipped to this view. What was the other view? Where were we at over there? So according to the map, here I'll show... I don't want to show you because it shows my IP address. My latitude, longitude. Oh. Well, it's not nighttime where the eye... Oh, it is! Wait, so what were they just showing? It was not daytime. What is that? Is that lightning? That's fucking nuts. They are in the dark, by the way. They're in South America. Can I get this map out of here? Draw footprint, draw orbits, keep selected centered, large map. Oh, there we go. I can do large map. Does this move over here? Come on. I can't show you. They're above South America, and it's dark. What does it say? Sunrise in 24 minutes. That's supposed to be lightning? What the fuck? And this says replay during the night. What is that? I've never seen something like that. What? Let me look at this again. It just showed the city. You can see the city lit up under there. Watch. I wonder if I can pause it in time. It's right after this. Right. Oh, that's sunrise. It was right after that. Huh? What happened? Oh, it's just showing a replay then, is what it's saying. Okay, got it. So it's not live at night. So I'm even going to ask that CEO. Now I think that they're telling lies too. They said, I read it. It said that they are providing live views 20 hours a day. But if they're going by the same schedule of the ISS, they're not. There's no way. ISS goes offline for about 40 minutes every 90. So that's 90 is an hour and a half, 40 minutes. So reduce that by so like they're at least only getting half the day, 12 hours probably. So I thought these guys were doing more night views, but not if they say they're just going by the ISS schedule. Anyway, I'll keep reading the chat and we'll leave that on for the screen. But oh, you're watching the wrong one anyway. YouTube, where's that at? YouTube Studio, this one. But that was pretty cool seeing the lightning. I mean, that looked fairly legit. I don't know. What do I know about seeing lightning from above? Cero, senor. Oh, so here it said at the bottom of the screen just popped up replay during the night. So this, I guess they're not claiming this is to be live. There's one. It was like down here, and then lit up this whole city. I could actually see stuff down there. It's right around there. Oh. Maybe I couldn't see stuff down there. I thought I did. I think that's the last one. Is there another one? Open up person. Oh, geez, that was awesome. Wow, that's so crazy. I think that's the other awesome. I thought it was over here somewhere, wasn't it? Up there it was. Of course I missed it. Let me just go back. Can't you go back frames by pressing, what is it, this? Is it arrow keys or the... Must be that. Shoot. Just gonna have to press this again and go backwards. Oops. Okay, I'll go. Oh, that's kind of cool. Is this forward frame? What is? So you can go one frame at a time if you use the period key, period comma. I want to catch that one in the lower left one time. There we go. See that? Isn't that like you can see, oh, I thought you could see the ground right there. Guess you really can't. Okay, sorry. Let me go back to this. We'll go live. Anyways, just finding out about what these guys are doing. And they're fairly new. I guess they just put it up. Where did I see a timeline? There was a timeline somewhere. I think I was, I don't remember where it was. Was it down here somewhere? And I went, oh, milestones? Yeah, I think, yeah, this is it. So it's just showing that what they supposedly done, which I've never even heard of them. But high altitude balloon, and then they went prototype and video from space, and this is the first satellite launched. Supposedly they have satellites that have cameras on them. If you go to, where did we see that? But anyway, just looking into some of these things further rather than just dismissing everything is probably the way forward. Is it here, latest news? Somewhere there was a spot that talked about Send launches 4K live stream of Earth and space. So this is just January 27th, which is crazy because I just saw them on YouTube and then said, who are these people? Why are they running with live streams now? So supposedly as of January 27th, it says the Space Video Streaming Company announces the launch of its new ultra high definition 4K live stream of Earth and space. Send's vision is to ensure everyone can experience amazing views of Earth and space like those experienced by astronauts. Its live stream is available for over 20 hours a day. So that's not true so far as what we've seen. If they're going dark when the ISS is in the nighttime, that's half the day. With just a few hours a day of expected downtime due to routine loss of signal communications with the intersatellite link relaying the video data to the ground. That never made sense to me. They could just send the data to the ground, wherever it goes, and then send it undersea cables. You'd be able to get it instantly. Send's livestream provides the public with the world's first ultra-live, ultra-high-definition views of the Earth and its world's first commercial live stream from space, giving additional live views to those provided by NASA. The live stream is now freely available on send.com. So that's also wrong. If you go to send.com, there is no live stream available there. So it says it's available there, but oh, I guess if you're talking about this, then I guess that's right. My bad. They do have a live stream. I didn't even see that. I thought that was just another video. So so maybe they're saying this runs for 20 hours a day. I don't know. Does it say replays? Expected loss of signal in 21 minutes. Live stream from space. International Space Station started 1 month ago. 20 December 2024. I don't know. Just something you might want to check out. It's just send.com. And when you get to send.com, it's this first box that says live. And then they've just got a bunch of videos of various places. The Alps, I don't know. Views like this are crazy. Where's this view? Where's this camera? So where's the live? If they've got 3 cameras, I just want to know why they don't have the live stream of each. They should have it all up here. Because they've got this one live, but it's dark. Anyway, that was what I was doing earlier, going through some of this stuff. So that's probably what I'll be up to. Wait, is this live? I think it is. All right, well, we'll wait on that. And over here, it's just dark. And they are in, according to this page over here, right now it's in the middle of South America. And it's got a ways to go until it comes back in the light. All right, let's continue on to some of these questions real quick. Did I hear something going on about the moon recently? Yeah, I was going to check that. Sorry, I forgot to check that. Let me just check. So what would that be? So it said the lunar rover landing sees lunar rover? That's what somebody said. Or module. I don't remember. Let's see what happens if we type that in. No, wait, it wouldn't be the lunar rover that sees it. It would be lunar. So what did they say? It said a lunar module landed and saw the old LEM or something. Lunar landing sees LEM. Like that. Let me just look up lunar landing because it's not showing anything. Nothing that's comparing that. So lunar landing. I think somebody's pulling my chain.
A new year has arrived for all of us. After a remarkable 2024 filled with significant advancements in SpaceX's Starship program, the exploration of the moon involving Starship is sure to be the center of attention here in 2025. So, with the achievements of the past year, how did SpaceX design its mission to the moon? Let's find out on today's episode of Alpha Tech. Starship is the largest and most powerful rocket system ever built, designed to be fully and rapidly reusable. SpaceX believes that the combination of strength and efficiency is the key breakthrough that will enable humanity to achieve a variety of spaceflight milestones, including the settlement of Mars, a long-held dream of company founder and CEO Elon Musk. That vision may become clearer in the next 12 months as Starship is poised to make significant progress in 2025. However, before pursuing the grand ambition of conquering Mars, Elon Musk must first accomplish...
What is going on? I gotta show you this. What? I'm tripping out. They say this is real. The only reason I think it's not real is the music. It's not a lunar lander, but that's just from February 1st. But I don't like the music, so I'll fix it and make it more appropriate. Because usually, you know, I like to go by appropriate music. Oops, get rid of that. Doesn't help anybody. Let's see, do I have one down here? Come on, Enrique, play some music. I got it. Let's go. Make it more appropriate. Sorry. Oh, great. This doesn't exist. Sorry. I cannot get behind this. What is that? That's the moon, they said? Did that say moon? Did that just put a thing on there and said moon? Wait, the little thing? Were they tripping? I think I saw something that said moon. What? I don't even know what to think. We read that one. We got a question. How are you doing? Great. We read that one. Do you think flat Earth? Yes, we read that one. Do you think unmanned rockets have landed on the moon? God, I don't think so. I mean, it's a tough one. No, I don't. I don't think so. I could be proven wrong. I'll just tell you that much. What do you say to the thousands and thousands of amateur astrophotographers that take photos of Saturn, Venus every day from their own backyard? That they're taking pictures of the things that are in the sky. Not difficult. The planets rotate, though. Oh, sorry. This is supposed to be the chat for me, by the way. I don't know why you would be at Jersey Bob. Are you using any kind of zoom camera pointing at the flat horizon, or is this just a visual observation? I was just going to visually see if we could see the rocket, but we couldn't. It's rain. It's bad weather. I see what you mean. I'm starting to doubt it myself, KD. It's just a little funky. The biggest reason the moon landing was not fake. The Soviet Union acknowledged the accomplishment at the time. People forget the Soviet Union was attempting the exact same thing. So Ardley Astro, just so you know, I've talked to people in Russia and asked them what were they taught in school. And it seems to be that both countries used the event to propagandize their citizens. Russia tells the story that they were the first in space in everything. They were the first woman in space, the first man in space, the first animal in space, the first satellite in space. That they were way above us, they were way ahead of us in everything space. And then they heard the United States wanted to go to the moon, and Russia knew that the moon had no benefit. So they chose not to go, just made it seem like they were going to go. So America went, and they went there first, but it's not a big deal because the Russians knew better than to go. That's why we found. So you can tell almost that that's a good conversation for both countries to have with each other. Say, hey, you guys do all these things. You say you're first, we'll give you that. Then we're going to say, hey, we're going to catch up. We're going to beat you to the moon. And you guys just tell your people that there's nothing there. So, and we'll go there and we'll find nothing. So we'll be able to tell our people how great we were, that we got all this done, that everybody came together. And you'll be able to tell your people how great you were and that you all came together and that we're the big losers because we spent money on something that doesn't matter. And we'll tell them that you're big losers because you couldn't keep up with us and we beat you. Do you understand where that could be a case? So to just make these blanket statements of, oh, well, the biggest reason, that's the biggest reason? That's the biggest reason? No. You could see the propaganda there. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And then what is with, didn't Putin recently say, and I thought it was fake, but I guess from what I'm hearing, it is real, that Putin commented on the fact that he doesn't think, or he said something about they need to look into again whether the United States went to the moon or something. I don't know if you've seen that. Isn't taboo conspiracy on your list of liars about the shape of the Earth? What do you mean liars? I don't think there's very many liars. I think people believe honestly that the Earth is flat and don't assess evidence like we should, if that's what you mean. So, yes, I think taboo is somebody who's wrong, if that's what you mean. It's night and I'm looking at Venus right now. Can you draw a diagram with the ball Earth? Yeah, I mean, you just need to do it yourself. It's just a bigger picture than people draw. If you draw a very small view of it, then it's very difficult to show. But I think, let me see if I draw it like at a certain size. I know this is not the map we're talking about, but just so I can get a blank screen here. But if you have inner orbits of, let's say this is your Mercury, and this is your Venus, and then you have your Earth. I know these aren't perfect, but I'm just trying to say. But now if you kind of picture this as like super spread out, then you could see where the Earth, oops, I did a blue line there, and then we gotta grab this. So there is times where, like, let's say the Earth is way over here, right? And something over here. And then you've got the dark side, and, oops, let me grab a little black. Dark side over here. Oh, maybe this way a little bit. So then you could see where at times of the orbit here, if Venus is here, right, that somebody at night could still see it. Is it setting? I don't know. You have to draw it out on a bigger, I've seen it done, like Universe Sandbox, or I saw somebody do it on GeoGebra. But that would take me a long time to do. You could do it on GeoGebra with the actual distances. You should try it, because that is the kind of evidence that you could really bring against them, right? So if you went to if you went to GeoGebra, which is, I don't know if you've ever been there, it's pretty easy to use. I'll just give you a little head start. You can do that. I don't have time to do it right now, but go to GeoGebra. GeoGebra. Go there, and then just hit this one. I'm sorry, I can't be on the YouTube screen, not this screen. Then go Start Calculator, and just start drawing the orbits of each. So here's the Earth, and you could say how big the Earth is. Let's go ahead. So use these as your tools. So if we want to do circles with center, so there's your. If you want to put the Earth at the center here, and go, okay, how big is the Earth? It's 3959 radius, so you say about there. Okay, so there you got your Earth, and now just keep pulling that out. So now you got the Earth. Now you have to do the Earth's orbit, which is what, some 100 and something, 78 million miles. So you'd have to go there to draw. Well, you have to go here back and go grab this. But anyway, you can play around with this. It does take a little learning, but then draw the orbit of the Earth. Because I had to do this once with the eclipses. So I didn't believe that the eclipses work, but I figured out that they do. That if you put the distances the right distance away. So for instance, if that's your Earth, did we make A a circle or is A a dot? A is a dot. Okay, so we need a circle with a center. Circle with a center. And you know, it helps to go with the real miles too. If you did a circle with a center, let me go all the way back. So we do a circle with a center, and we're going to go 3959 as the radius. Okay, so there's our radius, 3959. Oops. Did I go 39,000? Too much. Too much. I meant 3959 miles. Ah, don't draw another one of those. Air what? Oh, sorry. Back. Fixed objects may not be changed. It's not fixed. I thought I was trying a circle. Thank you. 3959. What's going on here? Okay, here we go. 3959. So there's your Earth. 3959. So then if you do your orbit, 3959 over there. Okay. So if that's your Earth, and then we're going to do the Sun is 238,000 miles away. So then you can go find that. And you gotta make sure you don't press the button again. It'll draw another circle. There we go. So then we're going to go to 248,000. 248,000 is here. And then do your circle with a center again. And from 248 here, and then we're going to do a circle, and I think it's 2,000. No, wait, that's 2,000 diameter. 1,000 radius, I believe. It's going to be there. I could be off. I'm just doing it as an example. So then, and then you can go 93 million miles away, which is going to be way the hell over there. 93 million. And what is that? 2, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, still not enough. 93. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3. That's 9 million. That should be 19 million. Yeah. And we're going to go 93. 93. Okay, I'll get in here. 93 million. And it's what? 867,000 miles wide. So I'm going to go point with a center. Circle with a center. Where'd you go? Okay, so we're at 93 million. 93, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then it's 800, and so like there. Is that 800,000? Yeah. Okay, so that's about there. So then that is your kind of setup, and then from there you can start drawing your rays, which are going to be rays of light that are going to start at the sun going this way. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I can't move that way yet. Let's go with the arrow. And we're going to move this. So what is H? Oops, I didn't mean to draw H. I need to grab G. Wait, what? I don't know where H came from. Get it out of there. Delete it. Okay, now move. So you can start to play with these rays, and you can see that, because I couldn't understand why they say sometimes that the eclipse shadow is bigger than others and sometimes it's smaller. But you can actually take that line. I don't think you can take it when it's here, can you? No, you have to grab the actual. Where is that? Where's G connected to? F? Oh, F is the ray. I saw F over here. Where's that ray F? It just gets really difficult when you're doing so far distances because you have to keep zooming out to get over there. Come on, there's F. Wait, what do you move to get F to move? I should have done segment, not ray. Because I don't know how you move the ray. It's just going to stay on that line now. Let me go back and we'll do it again. Just showing you that then it made sense to me where they get the shadows from, or what they say the shadow. What is it going back on? You should erase that line. Isn't that the most recent thing I've done? I get rid of G. Get rid of that. Get rid of it. What work is this thing doing? Thank you. Now G's gone. Okay. So now let's do instead a... What's the one that has two... I'm not good at geogebra. I'm not good at algebra. No, I'm not good at... what is this called? Graphing? I don't even know. Or these things are called things. Vector? No, ray. Segment. Isn't a ray? And then you can move the other dot? Okay, that's what I want to do. No. Move the H. That's what I was trying to do. Okay, now we'll pull this out. I was trying to do that before, so I could take this H, bring it over here. Tickle me. Hear my son out there. Okay, so then if you have the moon thing going here, the light of the sun is going here. So you'll see that when it's 200, if we drew another ray, it would miss the Earth, right? So you would have a, where's the Earth? Back here at 0. So if you drew another ray when the moon is 238,000 miles away, then you would have no shadow, but you would have, but you still would have a partial eclipse. So when the moon is 230, what would we do? 248, right? So if the moon is 248 away, then you would only ever have partial eclipses. You would never have a full eclipse, but they don't say that. So they actually say that the moon changes its distance. And when you move that in, let's say we take it and move it, we'll go to 238. Whoops. What did it happen? Why did it do that? I'm trying to move. Why is it getting bigger? I don't know why it's doing that. I'll fix it in a second. We're going to 238. Well, let's just keep that one where it was. And let's draw a new one. Okay, so let's grab a new circle with a center. And we're going to do that at 230. And actually, they say the moon even closer than that sometimes. Come on. 238. And we said it's 1,000. 1,000. And I might, like I said, I might be off on these distances. So that's maybe why it's not working. But let's go there. And then let's move that ray to that new spot. Move. And this ray H is now here. Right, and now we'll move this over here. And so if you move it to where they say, like if you look up what they say when it's during the eclipse, it was creating a spot on the Earth that was, and I calculated it was like 100 miles big. So everybody that was saying, you might have heard people saying like 70 miles, how could it ever be 70 miles? So then I was like, oh, well, you can, it can be. That it seems to be with the light here. Because I always heard people saying, oh, you can't make a shadow smaller than something. But that's not true. Because if you've ever been in a plane and looked at the ground and seen the shadow of the plane shadow is nearly not as big as the plane. So when we're very close to items, you cannot, right? So you can't do something in your house to make a shadow smaller than the item because it's not far enough. But now go outside, get on your roof, hold up a big circle on a piece of stick or something and use the sun and show that item, and the shadow that appears on the ground will be smaller than that item. It's just we don't see that in everyday life. We're not ever that far away from items that are shadowing. So anyway, it is possible, I think. And then this kind of shows you why. You would still have the other ray coming the other way, which would be your umbra. But it is, when you do this stuff, so anyway, my moral of saying this was, if you go and do all the layout of Venus and Mercury, do their orbits, right? Because from here, you could actually take the Earth's orbit by just taking the center of the sun, which is at 93, make that the center. So we'll go here, we'll go circle with the center. And we'll draw the circle here. And then go out to this one again. Probably need a lesson from the Geometry King, which is Ruhith. Okay, so if we move this here, then that becomes your orbit. So there's your orbit of the Earth. There, right? Around the sun. So then from there, draw now we know the orbit of Earth, so I'm already almost there, right? You could just do then however far they say Mercury is, draw that orbit, let me just see if we can do it. I'm not going to go look up these things right now. I told my family I'd be with them, and I'm not doing that. So if you know that Venus is going at, say, this, where Mercury is, and then we can say that Venus is going here. I don't know what they actually are. But then from there, you can start to see where somebody who's on the Earth, and let me get over here. Because could you place something on the Earth somewhere where it would be able... Oops, don't do that. I've seen it done. Who did a video on it? Was somebody... Because now I'm looking at it and I do see your issue, and I have kind of them come looking at it like, wait, how does that work? But I've seen it done. I just don't remember where they drew it. They drew some part of the path where at night... Because you figured that this line should be your night line, right? Like if the Earth's on this line, then everything on this side is night and this side is day. So how would you see these things? You would always be in night. Did somebody do a video on it? I thought I saw it somewhere. I saw somebody model it. Was it Karen B? Did Karen B model it? Because it's only at night that we see it. I mean, but you do see it like 2 hours before, right? So that's a good question. But I don't think it changes the shape of the Earth, obviously. It's just a question. Oops, that's not what I meant to see. Why do we see Venus during the day? Does anybody have a video of that? I don't think so. I don't remember the see videos. Planets finding Venus during the daytime. Venus and Mars dominate the sky, blah, blah, blah. How to see Venus in the day. I don't see anybody who did a video. I thought somebody did one. Why is Venus so bright this weekend? I don't know. I'll look into that. I'm writing myself a note. That's something to definitely look into. Because it's something I always hear brought up. And I thought that it was shown how it was done. But that is to scale. I mean, basically you could get in there and say it's to scale. But still, the person on this area here, how would they ever see? It must be that, well, what is, now I gotta go look. What the hell is Venus's distance? Venus distance. 47 million miles. So it's, and what does it vary between 47 and something? How far is Venus today? Venus facts. Venus orbits the sun, average 67 million, but what is its high and low? Where is its high and low orbit? 67 million. But it's not a circle, so it's going to be closer at one side and farther at the other. Where does that say that? There, here we go. So 108. Oh, wait. Why are they doing kilometers? Do I screw with me? 108 million. Is that working? 108 million kilometers, which I'll do that in miles in a second. And wait. It says that its perihelion and its aphelion are only a million miles difference? Or a million kilometers difference? Is that right? 108 and 107? Seems far-fetched. I thought it was not a circle. That's pretty close to a damn circle. 108 kilometers to miles is what? 67. Okay, so that's where we got the average from. So 67 is going to place it here. 67 million is here. So I still don't really see how that helps the situation. 67 million. And you have to have somebody facing away. And they see this here. Yeah, I'd have to find somebody who knows that answer. I cannot tell you. And I don't really think I'll ever know. For sure. It's weird. And I guess the Earth only varies by 3 million. Okay, I could see that then. They say the Earth varies by 3 million. The ones that are weird are like the distance from Earth, right? Because if you're on this side, then you're 67 million miles from Earth. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe that was, is it talking about its orbit? I might be confused. Let me go back and look at that. I wasn't thinking, what, am I talking about from Earth or from the sun? That's from the sun. Right, okay. So this is from the sun, 67 million miles from the sun. We did it wrong. We did, it's 68. So what is it from Earth then? Okay, that's what varies so much. That's where I'm confused. Earth to Venus is going to vary a lot because it's going to be on one side of the orbit versus the other. So let's see what it says. How far away is Venus from Earth? The planet Venus, the second planet from the Sun. Venus is closest planet is 25 million miles away from Earth. But yeah, that's, again, all these things say that like that. Why don't they just tell people the truth? Like, tell people flat out, well, it depends when you're talking about. Don't tell them that it's 25 million, because then people see that and they go and make calculations with it, and that's not right. It would have to be varying quite a bit by at least double 67 million. How far is Venus from Earth? Venus is the closest planet to Earth, but its proximity to our planet depends on the orbit. There we go. The two planets travel in ellipses around the sun, and so the distance between them is constantly shifting. At the farthest, it lies 162 miles away, and at closest, 25 million. So that has something to do with it. So you can actually be as close as, here, 25 million. So, because it's 67 from there, right? So then that would be, so that's going to be your answer. So that's the thing, right? So if you're now looking here, if it's over here, then you would see it, right? It's just nighttime for you. You wouldn't see it during the day, but at night, it's still, if you're like over here and it's way over here, then you could see it. So that's the answer. It's just if you did it, actually lay it out, then it works. And I think I've told people before, where we shouldn't be trying to capture NASA is in their math. They're not going to get the math wrong. The math's going to be right. So it's just whenever there's a math thing, it's just like when people all said that moon going in front of the Earth was fake, which it certainly looked it. But people made the claims about the size. Like, oh no, it's too big. It would never be that big from far away. But, Rob Skiba showed it, and others have shown it, that if you actually lay it out in those distances, then it does work. That is the size that you would see it from the moon. But again, they're not going to get that math wrong. So whether the observation is real or not is another story. But I'm just saying that the math is right. So anyway, if you kind of picture this, you can actually draw it out where you would even see it. As it's going tonight, you're spinning around, it's getting dark. Okay, then you do it. All right, I'm going to go play with the kids and the wife and enjoy the rest of the day. It's been fun. I wish I got to film it, but oh well. I'll leave this up anyway, just as a video since we had some fun, talked about Neil Armstrong. And we will talk to you guys soon. I do not have an outro for you. I could play, let me see, one of my sound effects. Enrique, you have any fun song on the way out of here? Anything? Sure. That works. Play that. Yeah. He wants to play, I don't know why. What's going on here? Yeah. Peace, guys. Much love. Love you.